Safety blitzes were one of the things that were kind of on the back burner. Saw a couple of those with Lathan against Indiana. Kind of what led you to incorporate those into the game plan, and then what you saw on those plays.
Yeah, I mean, it allows our safeties, to be aggressive. I mean, they're doing a good job of figuring out the plays and where they fit. I just think it allows us to play offense on defense more. Guys are getting more comfortable with the system. That's a part of it, and we're going to continue down that path.
Third row left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Jim, Ty Hamilton started for you guys the last couple of games. Just what have you seen in him that you like that's made you want him to play more?
Ty's like a cold-blooded gentleman, I guess I would say. And that you like quiet, good smile, but he's just really tough inside, and he's athletic. And I've seen him use his hands and get off blocks, and make plays. So not only hold point, but I've seen his hand skills really developing, and he's earned more playing time.
Front row right, Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1.
Jim, Tommy would obviously never acknowledge or complain about the hand and the cast there. How big of a deal do you think that is for him? He's still obviously productive and out there for you quite a bit. Does it limit him at all, tackling or anything else out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the game, but the toughest guys don't let it limit them, and he's one of them, So you try not to talk about it. You try not to acknowledge it, because what's the plan, right? I mean, it's just a couple things you can do with tackling that I have talked to him about, going lower, roll tackling, using more of a single leg with the torque and sliding your arm through the leg. I mean, there's a couple things you can talk about. But for the most part, you just play through it, and Tommy's great about it.
Front row middle, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
You got Cam Brown back last week and Jordan Hancock back. How much of a lift does that give you? How do you think they played?
It's a big lift. Those are guys we had planned to be with us from the start, so it's good to have them back. And I thought they played well. You saw Cam on a couple 50-50 balls deep, which is that's a big deal. Some plays that maybe we didn't make earlier in the year. It was good to see him make those plays, and that does lift up the defense, and it breeds confidence.
Third row right, fourth row right, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Roll.
Regarding the defensive line, Dan just asked you about Ty Hamilton, but Teron and Ty seem to be cementing themselves as those top two guys. What are you seeing, not just from Ty, but from those two working together, that makes the defensive line better?
Yeah, Teron, very similar. It's one thing to hold the point, but to have the athleticism to then, what you saw Teron do also in the game, and you've seen him do it, to disengage from the block and make tackles. That's like the next step. And so I think both of those guys are doing really good things in that area, and you're seeing that.
Second row left, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Whether it's Jordan Hancock missing the first half of the season, basically Denzel and Cameron being out in and out and stuff, and then whatever happened with the defensive line, it just doesn't feel like you've gotten the opportunity to see what this defense looks like with all of its parts. And is there any excitement that maybe Maryland is the first opportunity for you to be able to do that? And as a guy who's a schemer and a thinker, what kind of pops up in your head when you think of that?
I mean, it's a great point and valid, but I just don't think that way. I just think that's a luxury, because this is big time college football, and if you're going to be really good as a defense guy, guys have to be able to come in and out and have depth. So and you know, sometimes when I was young, you'd go through plans where you might plan, okay, I got these guys back now, and I can do this, and then you're out of that on the first play of the game. So, really, it's just business as usual. It's nice, it's a good thing, but we just got to keep doing what we're doing.
Third row right, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Jim, you go against this receiving core every day in practice. As a group, what impresses you about them? And then individually with Marvin, what kind of nightmare is he to defend for Houston?
As a group, you know, extremely hardworking and talented and competitive. You know, I think that whether it's 7-on-7, 1-on-1, I mean, our receivers are always going hard, and that's part of what I'm sure makes them great. And Marvin is just the best I've ever been around. You know, some of the catches that he makes in practice when they show up in the game, you know, we see it every day. You know, plus he's from a great high school. Yeah.
How do you defend a guy like
You have to try to double him, or you have to try to put. But I mean, he's made catches against us in practice, you know, in a bracket. So really, you have to change it up, and you know, because if he knows what you're doing and CJ knows what you're doing, they're going to make plays.
Second row right, Bill Landis, Rivals.
Jim, now that you have sort of 10 games of seeing it, how do you think that Jack has taken to some of the stuff you're doing with him with the jack position, and what did you think of his play on Saturday, finally getting for a few sacks?
Yeah, good. You know, I you know, he's embraced it. You know, I keep encouraging him to even be more reckless. I think that's part of the position where he can grow, we can grow, and it's, you know, you may make some mistakes, but I want to see him be more reckless. And Jack wants to do the right thing, and he's and you know, great team guy. I got to try to find more ways just to cut him loose, you know, and just, you know, let him play free.
You sense him being cautious? Is that what you mean?
Not cautious. No, he just, you know, sometimes the more you pile on, this is what the debate always is for me. The more you pile on a guy, you know, and I can do that with that position. Like, you know, go here against this set, go here against this set, cover this guard in this set. You know what I mean? Now it's not cautious, it's thinking. And if a guy is thinking too much, he can't play free. So that's on me. But he's doing a good job. I got to just do more to really cut him loose.
Second row right, Doug Lamb-Reese, Cleveland.com.
Follow up on that, Jim. So often it seems like with defense, right, it's stay in your gap, do your job, everybody fill your responsibility. Is it hard to communicate this to a player, this idea of recklessness? Because it maybe sounds like it's like, hey, 10 other guys do your job, and then Jack, you make it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you do spend a lot of time on gap responsibility, defensive responsibility, being sound in your approach, and we have that in some of our other things. So, yeah, there is a tipping point, which I think has taken some time over the years that I've used it to where, you know, they really get it. Where now it's okay. Yeah, all 10 of you other guys, make sure you're sound because this guy's just going to go tear it up, you know. And I think we're still working towards that point.
And then just a different topic. You guys are giving up barely over 3 yards per rush attempt as a defense. Just philosophically for you, like, what is it that goes into being a great defense against the run, and where do you think you guys are right now in that pursuit?
You know, obviously, cliche, but it starts up front, right? You have to be able to control the gap you're assigned, whether it's through stunt or base, you got to be able to whip people with your front, and that sets everything else up. After that, it comes to an understanding by really the linebackers and the safeties, and I think you've seen that with the development of Tommy and Steele and Lathan, Ronnie making these plays, that it just comes to an understanding that, okay, this is the defense that we called, this is the play they're running. Where's the ball going to end up? How do these two parts fit together? And then there's always, because it's defense, right? You really need like 14 guys to defend everything. But so there's always going to be what I call that escape hatch, and it's now the linebackers and safeties know exactly where that escape hatch is going to be, and that allows you to play fast. And to me, that's the key to being a great run defense.
Fourth row right, Cameron T. Robinson, The Athletic.
Jim, kind of off that, I think the flashy thing on the other line is edge rushers, like go get sacks. That's what people would love to see. But inside, like you say things start up front. How important have guys like Ty and Teron been? It's starting things inside.
Yeah, I think I said it last week. There's nothing sexy about it. I mean, it is just hard work. It's hard work, and it's the the way football was initially created. Those battles at the line of scrimmage, and it's morphed a lot since then. But it still takes place, and you still need your tough guys to be tough, and that's where we've gotten such great play out of our tackles, and it's going to be key as we move forward.
You're able to mix strong interior play with really good edge rushers. As defensive coordinator, how much does that allow you to open up and freely kind of change how you want things on the backside?
Yeah, it gives you a lot of flexibility, because if you're not right, try to be right all the time, but if you can't be right, that, and you're releasing people, from maybe their run responsibility because you have some tackles that can just whip people and make plays. That helps a lot in play calling.
Second row left, Steve Hellwing, 24/7 Sports.
Yeah, Coach, somebody averaged out the offenses you guys have played through 10 weeks, and the average national ranking is 93rd. And some of these teams we've watched have, you seem like you're struggling.
Go ahead.
You're struggling as much as some of these offenses have struggled against you guys to get first downs. But this changes this week. This team's in the 60s. The team you play next week's in the 20s. Just how confident are you that your team, your defense, is ready to play against two of the better offenses it's going to see all season?
I'm confident, we're doing all the right things against whoever they line up in front of us. When you say that, yeah, I don't really look at rankings or anything like that truly until the end of the year, right? Because that's the only thing really when you look back and kind of see how you held up against other people. So, you just have to take it week to week with whoever you're playing, and have great habits that turn into a lifestyle, and demeanor and attitude. It's the same thing no matter who you're playing or what they rank. And if you ever look past somebody because they don't have the right ranking, you're in trouble. So I like our progress. We still have a lot of work to accomplish, but I like what we've done so far, in being ready to be relied upon and counted on when the times, when times get tough. I think that's ultimately what you want out of a defense.
And Maryland, just up until the last 2 weeks, they've been pretty good on offense. I know Wisconsin and Penn State locked them up pretty good here the last couple of weeks. And the conditions may not have been good with the Wisconsin game, kind of like what you guys had at Northwestern. But what do you see with Maryland's offense and their quarterback? I think he's a 3-year guy. Just what can they do?
Yeah, the quarterback is a really good scrambler and playmaker. Maybe a little banged up. Maybe that's just why they've struggled a little bit. But I think everything flows through him, and he's dangerous. And they have skilled guys at wide receiver and the tight end position. I think the 1-2 targets. So, in a spread attack, they're dangerous. I can see why they played well. Maybe recently, they haven't. But when you look at the totality of the season, it gives you reason to believe you better be prepared.
We got time for just a couple more questions. Deep left, Nathan Barrett, Cleveland.com.
I just wanted to sort of clarify the situation with Ty Hamilton getting the starts the last couple weeks. Is Mike Hall still on more of a pitch count scenario that you're trying to save him for maximum effort down the line, or is Ty really the guy who should start now from a more complete standpoint, and Mike's got a more specialized?
Yeah, I mean, Ty's played extremely well, so he deserves that opportunity. But to compare him to what's happening with Mike is wrong, because Mike has really battled injuries. So it's not so much a question of saving him. It's just kind of week to week how Mike is feeling and what he can do. So what he can do on a given Saturday is what he can do. He'll give us everything he has, but he's really fought through some things.
And final questions, taking us home, Tim May, Letterman Row on 3.
First, how close did you guys come to a not perfect game, but Saturday, the one blown coverage, it gives him the deep pass, it sets up one touchdown, and then after that muck punt, the guys screaming to the hitch when in fact they ran an exploding, basically I call it exploding bunch there or whatever, and got the guy wide open. Were y'all that close to like that game? You understand what I'm saying that you're looking for? And do those two plays kind of haunt you a little bit?
They haunt me a lot. Yeah, I mean, until, whenever you move on, you got to move on. Yeah. But they're recorded and etched forever in the they go, we'll be studying the heck out of them in the off season because they go into that explosive play category. So, they actually had 5 explosive plays, so, we say 5 or less undefeated. So but they did have 5. And that reverse that they had too, which was, we had plenty of opportunities to make plays on that. So, and then they had a quarterback scramble, I know, which went for like 16, and there was one other one I can't remember. So, yeah, the post. That's right. So yeah, take out those 5 plays, and then it was a good game. Yeah, that's exactly. No, I mean everything else was pretty good, but yeah, those explosive plays, we study them, we talk about them, and you try to figure out why they happened, and so they don't happen again. But otherwise, yeah, it was pretty good across the board.
Hey Jim, I just got 2 other quickies. But they come out, like I called it, they came out in the second half with just this razzle dazzle. We're just gonna, I mean, what was that like watching that? From the press box, they've run a couple of plays that were just off the chart. You know what I mean? And what was your message down to the field? If you could even do that, everybody settle down, blah blah.
Right. Yeah. No, it's you don't do anything during the series except maybe adjust the calls as you get the feel for it. But credit to them for the first one. Great job by us on the second one. But for I think it was Ronnie, right? Kept his eyes on his man the whole way, because those plays are tough. As the play gets extended and you got guys who are leaking out and double reverse, those are tough and really a challenge of your discipline. And Ronnie did a good job.
Hey, listen, Lathan Ransom, talked about him many times in here and stuff, but is he the kind of guy you can pile some stuff on? I mean, he seems to have a feel for the game as much as he does for what his role is in it. I mean, am I wrong about that? I mean,
he's a football guy, right? So he can get what you're talking about and understand it and execute it, right? So you can ask him to do some things, just talking about something today. I was in with hey, okay, we'll just get Lathan to do this against this play, right? I mean, so you start to put more on him, as you see things develop, and you say, well, if I can just take this one guy, I can fix this problem, and he is that kind of guy. But it's still my job to make sure he plays fast. So, I mean, that's what coaches have to remember is every, maybe a little thing to me as a coach, but everything you put on a kid kind of can pile up and then lead to them not being as aggressive as fast. But he is in my mind as a guy who can handle a lot of things. I just got to be careful how much I put on him.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, Jimmy.